Councillor Joe Ledden to propose.
Chairman and delegates, Councillor Joe Ledden, Limerick City. This motion on behalf of the Limerick City Constituency Executive highlights the serious economic challenges that the Greater Midwest region and Limerick City face, and we condemn the absolute failure of this government to deliver on any of the key 20 recommendations identified by the Midwest Task Force, which published its report last year. This task force was set up because of the chronic unemployment situation in Limerick. And why did Mary Coughlan, when she was Minister for Enterprise, Trade and Employment, bother establishing a task force with much fanfare, asking people from various different backgrounds and professionals to give their time to produce a report in order to increase our competitiveness and attractiveness as a region and as a city in terms of attracting in foreign direct investment, when that report then was simply left on a shelf? As I said, the task force was set up because of the chronic unemployment situation in Limerick and indeed in the Midwest region. And I want at this stage just to compliment my colleague and your colleague, Alan Kelly, MEP, for the work that he's done in terms of securing much needed funds from the EU to help the Dell workers and their families, and he has stuck with them through thick and thin. And I also want to welcome the Dell workers to the conference today. There are a number of critical issues facing Limerick and other urban areas around the country. As I said, we've got an unemployment crisis in the Midwest now bordering on 40,000 people, and more worryingly, 20% of those are under the age of 25. I'm a member of Limerick City VEC for the last 10 years, and it shames me to say that we had to turn away 2,500 potential students because of the cap on post-leaving cert places. These were people who wanted to come back into the education system, to upskill, to retrain. These are people who saw the shifts in the labour market and wanted, as I said, to upskill themselves. Sadly, those 2,500 people are now signing the dole. Tourism, delegates, is a key economic activity in the Midwest, yet this government and local Fianna Fáil TDs sit on their hands as Shannon Airport passenger numbers continue to plummet and the Dublin Airport Authority simply look the other way. IDA, Enterprise Ireland have failed to deliver any large-scale high-tech industries, not just in the last year or two, but in the last 10 years. The last significant jobs announcement in Limerick was when Rory Quinn was Minister for Finance, when he opened the Vistacon plant. Specific requests outlined in the Midwest Jobs Task Force report identifying key infrastructural projects for Limerick and the Midwest region remain unanswered. Requests to establish a venture seed capital fund to promote and help indigenous industries to establish remains unanswered. In fact, the government have cut the grants to city and county enterprise boards. Delegates, and I'll finish, Chairman, to provide leadership and acknowledgement of the scale of our economic problems and an apology for bringing this great country to the brink of ruin should be the starting line. But this is a government that's in constant denial, a government that has lost touch with the ordinary people, a government who rewards people who fail miserably to regulate our banking system, a government who rewards people who abuse positioned on state boards with big pensions. So much for capping the salaries of the bankers. The CEO of Bank of Ireland must be laughing this morning. Delegates, I ask you to support this motion when Labour returns to government shortly, that these key issues facing Limerick City and the Midwest will be implemented so as to create jobs locally, so as to secure foreign direct investment for my city and for the region, so as to protect critical infrastructural assets such as Shannon Airport, and finally to allow those people willing and looking to return to education the right to do so. Go maith agat.